This episode is brought to you by that feeling that happens when you're supposing that maybe you've been walking around on a broken foot for about a month, and there may be some supposition that given the gap in insurance and timing, you may be doing it for a month to come. Also brought to you by music. That's a good thing. Uh, Now, here's the song. One more night. Give me just one more night. Give me one more night. I can't wait forever. Give me just one more night. And now here they are, your invenerable hosts, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. Oh, hey. DJ Airhorn. That's how we know we're there. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another Schmoke and Mirrors. Excuse me. Had a little bit of mango on my tooth. That would be embarrassing. Hey, look at this. It's a warm bevy. I'm gonna have a sippy. That's a good sippy. Hey, welcome one and all. Don't know what all is at this point, but you know what? We'll talk about that in a second. Let's get to that. It is Music Monday, huh, Josh? I remembered. I was told it's Music Monday. Do you need some of the new music? Guess what? My band. I'm in a band. Wallace is available to deliver you some music, and you should get it because as many spins as you give us on the Spotify's, and I do love being spotted. I love being looked at. I love that you care. It is also true. Oh, look at that. Huh? Sippy, sip. Warm bevy, everybody. Do you have a warm bevy of your own? You should. We're trying to keep it together. And this is how I replenish my my fucks, or replenish my pucks. I have also been in need of a puck replenishment recently, and so I'm gonna replenish my pucks. Either way, that record right there, that's my record. Hey, check it out. It's pretty good. It's called And We Ride, and you can bump that via Spotify if you must. But really go to Bandcamp and buy it there. That would be great. Thank you so much. Hey, Raven, see you over there in YouTube's. Hey, other YouTube people, follow Raven's lead there, and you subscribe it, and you punch it, and you pound it, and you like it, or whatever the things are you're supposed to do in YouTube. If you're watching this on the Facebooks, you know what I would appreciate very much? I would appreciate if you would help us out by spreading the word and letting us all know what's going on in the world's. Letting the world know what's going on here under the Philosopher's Tree by simply sharing. Here under the Philosopher's Tree, we call that passing the J. That just means to like it and share it to your page. Maybe. Why not? If you really like it, you could drop 5 on it at the Venmo, at the Cash App, at the PayPal. Those are available on the screen. Variations of my name. And if you really love it and want to become a patron, you can. As have Ruthie, Erica, Amber, Aaron, Seth, Lisa, Kristen, Renisa, Michael, Natalie, Juliet, Tarika, Tracy, Venus, Jen, and Tink. Your name could be next. If it is, you're going to receive your very own Carlos Wyndham 2020 Portland trading card. Get it while it is good to get. New cards coming in 2021. Also, you would do that all at the Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That is for comedy, culture, and blackness. Hi. Hi. How are you? How are you? Listen, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talky talk. We're gonna have a talky talk about so many good things. One is that I wanna say right off the top, I have noticed that a lot of the people who present a thing for you and for themselves in these COVIDy times are all getting ready to take their breaks for the whole year. And oh hey, hey, thank you, Jessica. Yeah, we all do need music and refreshments and some sippies. So and some fucks and some fucks. I am near 50, so when I say I am out of fucks and have no fucks to give, I don't have any. It's not fucks austerity. There's no fucking. There's no fucks to give, no fucks to be had, no fucks at all. Thank you, COVID. Fuck you, 2020. I guess I got a fuck from 2020. Anyway, um, choices. We all make choices and we all have choices, and we all make the best choices that we can. And sometimes those choices mean a thing. Now, some of you, if you are a new viewer and a new participant and somebody new under the philosopher's tree, might be new here today because you heard a rumor that we were going to be having a particular talk about a particular artist who worked with a particular another artist, and maybe we had a question or two, like, are Beyonce's boobies as soft as they seem to look? Uh, is her waist really that skinny, or is that something that happened via photoshopping? None of that is anything I wanted to ask today. Was going to have a guest today who's in the industry, and actually, the reason that they're not able to be here is that their glass Willy Wonka elevator took off. It took off, and they are leveling up. And when we are leveling up, it is very important that until we have the sort of control and self-determination that we want in our own worlds, that we not jeopardize that by I don't know, doing a thing like being associated with some jackass smoking marijuanas on a public platform. And it may have been the very good advice of the management of the person who was meant to have been our guest today to, hey, let's pump our brakes. Let's pump our brakes, because let me explain it to you. I imagine the conversation going like this. Let me explain it to you. Okay. You are here, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take you and I'm trying to move you right up there. Now, you want to go on a, what'd you say it is? It's not even a fucking podcast, a live stream show? What even is that? Okay, so if you are here and going like this, they are here, and I'm sorry, did you say that they were recently talking shit about Tyra? Yeah, do you know what industry we're in? So, sweetheart, that makes them. No, that's not low enough. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, right about there. Now, if you want your star to keep on the ascension, I suggest you shut the fucks up and don't be there smoking with them today. And do you know what? Yeah. 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 I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, listen, listen. This is not the first time this has happened in the world, and it's not the first time it's happened on one of these types of shows. And we're not free yet, right? We're not free yet. I would remind us that until very, very recently, marijuana has been a class one federal drug, right? Cannabis is a class one federal drug. Now, while this was introduced by the War on Drugs, which, as we now know, was created simply to associate hippies and black folks with drugs and have a way to be able to lock up Panthers and be able to attack any freedom fighters such as Abby Hoffman, who eventually ended up committing suicide as a result of the harassment and the PTSD of a lifetime of being a cultural warrior. As the government was deciding that, right? Because there was already a cultural war on reefer, right? If you were white, on the jazz, if you were old enough and you were black, on the Mexican weed, right? It was not. It was not. It was not criminal for a very, very long time to simply do this. In fact, there are very many states in these here divided states whereupon and wherein it is still a class one felony to be caught with marijuana. It is still that. It is still that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do need to up the legal mushrooms. Yeah, and they are legal here. They are legal here. Uh, I don't know. Is it Jessica? Is it Jessica? I don't. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Do you know what? If you let us know, I'll say it correctly. You could write a J or a Y, or if you wanted to be a real badass, you could just write yes. And if it's Jessica, and I'll be saying that correctly and stop sounding like an asshole, and even maybe stop saying your name. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm in Oregon. I've had a strategy of remaining in the Golden Triangle my entire adult life, which is Colorado, the California, right? Specifically Northern California, and the Humboldt, if you can get access to it, if you're anywhere in Northern Cal, and down to Los Angeles, right? Those were the three areas that I was like, okay, if I stay in the proximity of this triangle, once I had developed a relationship with cannabis, if I stay there, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. Uh, I knew that I would have trouble if I moved to the East Coast, not only because it is still and was and is everywhere except for New Jersey a class one felony. That I would not do well there. Okay, either works. J is the default. Only look Latina. All right, okay. So yeah, Jessica. Jessica it is. Jessica it is. And welcome. Welcome under the Philosopher's Tree. Names matter here very much. And that's what it is. Y'all know someone in Vegas too. Who's in Vegas too? Wait a minute. Oh, y'all are talking in the. We all get to chat together under the Philosopher's Tree. I don't need to be in every conversation. I can mind my beeswax. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Man. Man. Yeah. No shrooms a lot of places. Listen, Hunty. When I said, do y'all know? Remember the other day I was talking about when I grew up and when I got my first tattoos, that how wildly rebellious and illegal it was, right? Remember that? And I was in that place of like, yeah. So I ended up I ended up at a skinhead gang headquarters. And I didn't. I spoiler alert. I lived, and I've gotten many more tattoos since. That said, every activity that has been an activity that has meant anything to me has been and remains highly illegal here in these United States. Let's start with the marijuanas, which, again, right, the first time there was a real fight against cannabis, it was about jobs and not having Latinos working in the fields by, suggesting that these Latinos were all addicted to reefer, that they would not be productive in the fields. And so that was the first war. The second war then was during the Roaring Twenties. Welcome back. There's no such thing as history. And that they wanted to put a quelch on white people, women's being involved with Negro genitalias in such sexy proximity. Now, miscegenation, as it is known in the United States, because this is a very racist country, has always happened. There's never been a period where white people weren't wanting some of that black ass. Ever. Never. Since we've been in proximity with one another, whether it is the free blacks with whom they came into contact when they first stumbled their way onto this continent, or those who became enslaved Africans after the first Nubians found their way to Virginia on accident in 1617. Either way, whether enslaved, whether free, whether whatever, the sexiness of us has never been a question. The inability of their barbarous culture to see anything beyond the scope of buy it, kill it, fuck it, also has never changed. And while we know the cannabis is freeing, right? Certainly it can be habitual and it can be addictive, as can anything that is yummy. Chocolate, food, caffeine. I'm addicted to caffeine. That's the one I do have. I have a dependency with and a relationship of dependency and interdependency with cannabis. I do have an addiction, addiction to a deep addiction to a deep addiction and a deep addiction. No, a deep addiction. Oh, that's funnier. I should have left it alone. All right, that's okay. Hey, Joshua, can we take that back and cut that part? Okay, I just on a deep addiction. Okay, thank you. Deep Dick, that's funny. Shout out to the Deep Dick Collective in Oakland. Where are you fellas at these days? Anyone want to come on the show? Listen. So what I'm saying is this. Nothing about my life has ever been particularly legal or welcomed in the mainstream, right? Cannabis forever. Now, is that to say that Jared Trump is not an avid cocaine user and will show up on TV looking completely blown out of his head and that they give a fuck about drugs one way or the next? No! Allegedly. We're not saying that. What we're saying is we don't want black people to have it. And what we know, there's a little video going around. I don't know if you get to see it. It's over there on the tweeters. I'll see if I can share it some kind of way. I don't know. That shows a white woman being asked about some of the Trump policies and why she believes so ardently in Trump. And mostly for her, what it comes down to is that he is for his people, he is for white people. His policies, therefore, are for white people. They are not. They are for rich people, and rich people give a fuck about color except for green, but whatever. And that she will always vote against the interests of black people because she sees that as the interest of white people. Because if black people succeed and white people stay poor, then the mythology of white supremacy falls apart because then white trash is not a distinction that needs to be made any longer because you are no longer giving poor folks who, by the way, why are you calling them trash, an honorific of being white, thereby separating them from us to being black is the other thing that has been seen as illegal and very sexy in the United States from its inception, right? And this isn't like, I am surprised for how many people this discussion seems new at times. Certainly not talking to you, Jessica, with a J. Thank you for the clarification. And I do see the shout out. I do, I am often shocked at all the folk for whom this is a surprise. I mean, you know, in my parents' generation, Pat Boone got around to singing Womp Bompaloo Bomp and Tutti Frutti, which was Little Richard's hit and ode to anal sex, and made it a very, very dry and vanilla song about absolutely nothing and just some gibberish words. Um, you know, Donny Osmond's Puppy Love, we talked about that. That was just a rip off of ABC. They just needed to wait. Like, what's a cute little school thing? I don't know. They said ABC. Well, Puppy Love is cute. All right, Donnie, sing that. You sound like Michael. New Edition is great. Can we make a white one? You bet. In fact, Mario Star, the same person, could make it. It's called New Kids on the Block. Wow. You mean that thing that ended up being the pattern for NSYNC and Boys on the Block? Boys on the Block? Is that what they were called? Probably. The reason that we have to watch Justin Timberlake continue to do his Michael Jackson impression well into his middle age? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Because it's illegal for black people to succeed at it. That's how come Michael was white at the end. Also, my gender expression, that would have been illegal. Nothing like, right? If you and I, in this day and age, looked at me, right? I am seen as male presenting. I'm often mistaken as a he. My pronouns are they, them. Hi. Hi. I am gender fluid. And because he's are these are in my mind these machismo fucking like they know about what is happening in a sports overall, not a sport, but like overall. They don't have one. They like them all. I couldn't car. I embrace the divine feminine within, and I let it show up without, and I don't smash it down and suppress it anymore. Um, Also part of why I'll wear makeup quite often, increasingly often, and was hoping to get a tip or two today. But shout out to the folks who would have been our guests today. You know, and again, I'm not bringing up names because I don't want to shit talky. I don't want to shit talky. This should never be a place of shit talky and punching down or punching at our folks who are on the rise up, because that's what the fuck would that be then? Then it's not blackness. Then it is bullshit, and then we have to change the name back to comedy culture and bullshit. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That's gross. So we're back to comedy culture and blackness, and that means that we have to make everything more beautiful and find a way to embrace the divine feminine and a way to negate misogynoir. And certainly that means there will be no shit talking about black women's and femmes and AFAB folk and non binary folk and gender fluid folk. And, you know, I live in the United States. So if you're out of the United States, you have many, 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 many more adjectives to describe all of us. And I'm sure there's one that fits on me better than just gender fluid. And I don't know what it is. So, but you two and all of us, when I say everyone, welcome everyone, that's why I say that. I don't say that traditional fucking binary bullshit. I don't do boys and girls here, right? We don't do that. We don't do black and white. I recognize that I am black. I am recognized that there's white supremacy and it has an impact on what being black means. But you know, there are escapees. There are folks who've escaped and there are folks who are trying to escape. And then hopefully some of them are friends and they're joining us here. We love that. We love that. Also, if you are here and that's you, yeah, know that you are an observer. We appreciate you. You're welcome to watch. But I'm you know, mostly I'm talking to the peoples, and that comes in a flavor only because, right? Elevating the voices of the most impacted is the only way we're going to get through this, and so I have to use my unearned and undeserved powers and privileges assigned to me, whether I want them or not. Josh, I really don't want all of them. Can I just not be retire from maleness overall? No. Right, trapped in. No, you can no, yeah, no, I told you that. You're right. You can't just give up privilege because you want to. It's just assigned you and you have to, it's society's assignment. I know. Okay, and so because of that, I use the unearned and undeserved privileges that I have to try to elevate the voices of brown and black women and femmes in particular, and was hoping to do that again today, and also to get some to maybe sneak some makeup tips. The other good thing is that is the lesson from this, and we're going to take the lesson from this. Is that it is good to own your shit. And it is necessary to own your shit. Because when you do, it can't be taken from you. Do you know what I mean? And also, if you decide the lane, like you carve your own lane, no one can tell you what to do with that, right? I am aware there may be some restrictions coming forth on Facebook. And so that means a few things. We're really going to be in 2021. El Porvenir is going to be looking to figure out how to take smoke and mirrors into the platform of the podcast that we've been talking about. And we will still be doing this, but this will be more developing materials, goofing around, what it had been before. And we'll try and take many, many, many more of our guests to the podcast arena because that gives us some freedom to, one, give folks the capacity to feel as though they have some more privacy by not being live, which seems to be an issue for some people. We found out. And it was an issue for me too when we began. Let's not lie. And twosies, that it gives us, and Joshua in particular, the ability to do a little bit of editing. Because sometimes people say a thing that they don't want out in the ether. And sometimes people is me. And sometimes a thing that gets said might have to just be scratched from the thing. Hard to do live. Amazingly, Joshua found a way when they scrubbed the episode last Thursday. If you were here with us live, brilliant. We love it, and we did not erase it for you. I had said something that was neither my place or privilege to say, and it was pointed out to me after, and I got caught up because we get caught up, we get intimate, we get deep, and we get high, and so I am gonna cut that with Joshua, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it back up later, some other time. Do you know what I mean? And it was great, great visit under the tree with author Tiffany Golden, author, playwright, living with lupus. Oh, Tiff, you had a fall, son of a bitch. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're okay. I am one of the people who cares about you very, very much. I love you. I really hope you're fine and doing well. I am so sorry, and living with chronic illness sucks, and I'm tired of it. And I'd love to retire from that too, but much like my male privilege, until a system is constructed that allows for there to be the healthcare that prioritizes things like lupus and MS in Black people, and deprioritizes things that are maybe more superficial and only important to white people. I don't know what. I don't know what. But in the healthcare system, it does happen, and would love, love to see you get better. So I'm wishing you well. Tiffany, thank you so much for that conversation. Belated happy birthday to ya. And yeah. Yeah, 2021. We're gonna be moving to a official podcast. And we're gonna keep doing some of this still. It's gonna be beautiful. The babies and gentle thems. Thank you. I don't know. Was that from? Did you hear that from me or a different source? I don't know. I did. I've put that out there before too. But I do like to say each and every body, because I do mean each and everybody. If you are not a baby or a gentleman, that's okay too. That's okay too. Some of us are still very, very repressed. Do you know what I mean? And it makes perfect sense. You know, I've often said that I wish that we could have just been, why couldn't we have been invaded by France instead? Do you know what I mean? Somebody who wants to pay their taxes and fuck a lot, isn't really hung up on interracial sexualities in the same ways. It's got a different flavor, just like their cheese has a different flavor. Also, it would be a lot more hair in the armpits, and it would not smell as deodorized. United Statesians, I don't know if you know, but aside from Muslims, we are the least malodorous people on this planet, and in different ways, right? You know, you're at a Muslim family reunion once you step into the area that smells like it's the basement of a Macy's, anywhere that reunion happens to be taking place, right? And you know that it's an American if you are smelling something like Sure deodorants on a particularly warm day. Unless they're a hippie. Anyway, we've learned some things, and we do want to keep centering the voices and the stories of Black women. And in order for us to do that, we have to provide the appropriate care and tenderness when we are searching for the levels of vulnerability which we seek. Because for the guests and the quality of guests for whom we are finding ourselves in conversation to be as revelatory as they are being, have been, and we hope will be going forward. There has to be a modicum of temporary solace because there can never be safety for a black woman. And so, if under the philosopher's tree for our would be and hopefully future guests is not a safe place or one that at very least provides solace and openly creates any level of danger, um, we understand. We understand it's a dangerous, dangerous world for black women's, and we thank you. We thank you for your consideration, for thinking about being here, for having been here. Um, as I said, this was all of this was illegal practice. But there was a law that said a male presenting person, I guess man, wearing more than I believe 3 items of women's clothing could be imprisoned as a transvestite, and that existed well into the 1980s. Technically, I'm there. And as I said earlier, we in our generation, in our moment, wouldn't necessarily consider this to be particularly the most femme of architectures of couture, right? But that is due to the pushing of the stylists of the Lenny Kravitzes of the worlds. Do you know what I'm saying? The Rick Jameses, the Princes of the world, who push into the boundary of the mainstream, the adornment of a male presenting body with what have been traditional women's clothings and architectures in a binary system and have been very restrictive. I find no problem with women's clothing for 2 reasons. One, I adore women and I find them the best, and I find nothing to be reprehensible, funny, or ill about uh, presenting or being seen in any way that might be seen as feminine or womanly. I find that to be an honorific, if anything. And two, all clothing is truly gender fluid if you're not a little bitch about it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Me. Oh, you're welcome. For those of you who've been here, you know I've done 2 bits now. You're welcome. There was a third one tucked in there. I'm trying to work on, trying to suss it out. Something about France. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, Muslims smell good. That's all I'm saying. Muslims smell good. Muslims smell good. Yeah. In the U.S. way, right? In terms of Muslims, right? I was just saying that I am aware that it is a an assault, not an assault, what an affront to Allah to have foul smelling odors emitting from one's body, and that is why if you are in a building, say, and you are meant to be at a family reunion, and it happens to be Muslim, and you don't know where everybody is, all you have to do is kind of sniff out the area that smells like the basement of a Macy's, because there they are. Also, washing your hands 5 times a day and praying a lot You were right. You were right. We were wrong, and we, as anybody who is not Muslim, uh, yeah. Anyway, it's nice to have a guest, but you're my guest. There's no such thing as a special guest under the philosopher's tree. What makes it special is that we spend this time together. And I know that that may sound disingenuous given the way that I said anyway, but I did not mean that way. This is genuine. And this is one this is the way that I sound, even if we're just having coffee. This is just what I sound like. I don't can't help it. Anyway, uh, you're my special guest, and thank you for being my special guest today. Tomorrow, I am expecting that I'm going to be here with another special guest. I don't want to announce it right now because I'm a little nervous about special guests feeling comfortable showing up if we don't know each other personally yet. But I hope they will, because if they do, man, it's going to be a good talk. If you are watching this anywhere other than the Smoke and Mirrors community page on Facebook, you can have a look there. You can see who the special guest is. Facebook won't let us boost or advertise the event because there may be some talk about the fun parts of genitalia, sexualities wise, with my special guest. So please come back for that. I usually, when I'm talking about the sexualities or the genitalias here, it's just gross, and it will not be that tomorrow. Tomorrow it's going to be very grown up and a whole lot of fun. And you know what? Let's take one more hit before we get the fuck out of here. Uh, that's the thing. You just if I have a stroke and you start seeing that happen, okay, I am dead ass serious. Somebody call 911. Someone please call 911. So what I was saying is that if in fact, no, I lost it. It fell in my MS hole. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Let's take another hit. There's just a disappointment. If you get knocked off, you get knocked off the horse, you got to get back on. And if you you don't get to have the opportunity to have the conversation with your guest the way and the time you hoped you would, you know what? By the time we are on Showtime, uh, I'll bet you, I'll bet you that we will be able to figure out a way to overcome those limitations and have that conversation publicly. And I do look forward to it. In the meantime, we'll have it privately, and I will keep it all tucked in there, right in the face hole, all the way down in the throat and down to the stomach, because I'll swallow. This has been another Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you so much for spending some time beneath the philosopher's tree. If you are a new viewer and you had come to see our special guest and only got to see me, well, I hope this was entertaining enough, and I do hope that we get to see you again. I really sincerely do mean that. It would mean the world. If you'd like to see some of the guests who have been here before, because really a lot of them have. We've done this over like 150 times now, I think. I don't know, 120, 150 times, and somewhere in there. And a lot of guests have been here. We have some great guests coming up who are guaranteed, and some who I'm pretty sure are going to be here. You can also see words that I think and are usually in my brain hole, but I used my typer extenders to write them out at Twitter at Caballo Negrito. That is Caballo Negrito for the only English speaking or those who do not speak Spanish. Caballo Negrito means it really doesn't matter. You should just let your clients do what they want. Caballo Negrito translates to it really doesn't matter. Let your clients do what they want. As I was saying, that IG, that would be Smoke and Mirrors at CCB. That is for comedy. That is for culture. That is for blackness. Oh, boy. Smoke and Mirrors, CCB is a great place to drop a line if you'd like us to consider you as a guest, or so who should be a guest. Are you a black femme AFAB writer, artist, presenter, organizer, thinker, publisher, filmmaker, dancer, teacher, a plumber, a carpenter, a grower, and you want to talk about it? Drop us a line at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. That is for comedy, culture, and blackness at gmail.com. This thing here, right here, this thing right here, this thing right here is produced and hosted by myself, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. This is also produced in the 100% most professional of fashions by the one and only Tracy Tatamy. The intern this year is Joshua. Joshua, congratulations on top surgery. I'm sorry I was mean to you earlier. That was dickish. All right. Joshua's gonna tuck away to their home in the little hole in my head. I will see you next time. Hey, thanks for being here. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. If you do go outside, please wear a mask, but also don't go outside. And if you went there, come back in. Do me a favor. Wash your hands before you touch anyone. Why? Well, just because we love you and we would like to see you back here again next time on Smoke and Mirrors. Okay, bye-bye.